That's right, Harry. That's right, Harry. India win by 6 runs. 6 runs, the most remarkable end to one of the most remarkable test series of all time. It's made me howl at the moon just then. Mohammad Siraj, he runs into Gus Atkinson and he cleans him up, stumps out of the ground. It stuffs Shub Jarrell through the heart and he hits England with the Sioux. He hits us all with the Sioux. The Sioux's been going on for too long. He cops some absolute garbage for it because you know what? At times it has been, but not today, Mohammad Siraj. India, they keep coming and they keep coming and they keep coming until all of us are like Randy from South Park on his computer. We just finish ourselves to completion, and nothing was more wonderful than that to what's been a great series. My only regret is that we didn't get to see Chris Woakes bat. But you know what? We can't have it all. But it's been 25 days, 25 long days. Now, let's be right, it's 2-2. It is 2-2, so we should all just settle down. And India have beaten us side with, a guy with one arm and Jamie Overton. That's harsh. But you know what? TGC has been doing this for 25 days, and all we're asking is hit subscribe. We've done the whole thing without a sponsor. Hello. And so you might as well hit subscribe. Pezza, India win by 6 runs. This is new India. They don't take shit no more. This is Shubman Gill's India. They keep coming. Randy, computer, South Park, cover yourself, completion.
Oh, mate, poetry in verbal form, he goes. Straight off the bat. Here's the thing, right? I'd say from time to time, you and I, as the grade cricketer, have looked down upon those who have sought any opportunity of positivity within Test cricket to say how great the code is. We've looked down upon them and said, settle down, it's a little noncy, not tonight. Australian Eastern Standard Time, not tonight. This is why you worship at the altar of this shit. If you're not living here, you're camping out. That was one of the most extraordinary test matches of all time, saving its most dramatic moments of the series to its final day. That is the elixir of celestial indulgence. He goes, that's heaven's molten gold in a chalice for everybody except England, which makes it a better chalice, okay? There I said it. England, brave, positive comments to come, just not right now. This is India. England had its day yesterday, okay? England almost chased down something that basically for the last 150 years, and I'm happy to say it now because I didn't do it, most thought that you couldn't do shit like this, but they seem to be able to do this stuff. So we gave them their flowers yesterday. Today, it is about India. It is about Indian passion. It's about turning on the TV in Australia at 8 p.m. and hearing the chants of India. It's about seeing Shubman Gill laughing and conducting his orchestra like a man who's done it for several years, And then, to cap off what a madcap series this has been, we conclude it by realising now that Mohammad Siraj is the man. He is the man. He should go very close to player of this series, and let's be clear, these are on-the-bell reactions from TGC. We are raw-dogging it hard here. I don't know what people are going to say. We probably should have arranged some written words, but such is the visceral feelings of passion and emotion drummed up by both nations here, but especially India this morning. We're just coming at you live and hard. And a lot of people will be around the world.
You sort of invoked the heavens. I was talking about Randy coming on his computer. So that's what you're going to get from TGC. Now, the main podcast will be coming out tomorrow. We'll have some more reflective thoughts on the show. But Pez is right. This is just raw emotion. Now, this is a side that's obviously just gone through the letting go phase of the Virat Kohlis, of your Rohit Sharmas, who obviously rested himself for his last ever Test match, very honourably. This is a side that lost Rishabh Pant for the last Test match, their second best batter. This is a side that has played Bumrah in 3 Test matches and they haven't won any of them. This is a side that on day 4 of the 4th Tests were about to lose the series. Now they've saved the series. They were about to lose this morning as well, and then they've pulled it out of the fire. Now let's be right as well. England here have lost 7 for 65 7 for 66 to lose a test match. They've lost 6 for 35 to lose a test match. I can't believe how much the ball was talking this morning. Finally, at some point in this series, India must have been like, yes, we've got the best of the conditions. There's no doubt they got that this morning in London time. It was, but at the same time, one of the best things is like the Sky crew were panning to fans around the crowd. Everyone's pensive. There was a construction worker, hanging from the rafters. Just was watching. He should have been working. Let's be honest, but he's having a smoko. There's people biting fingernails. I'm on the couch. I'm hiding behind pillows here. I'm not even invested. Why am I invested? Okay, I'm going to buy a house tomorrow. Let's be right about that. And the Christmas party this year is going to be quite good at TGC Towers. But this was India like I've never seen them before, to be honest. Like, they have all these adversities, and England have had their adversities. They were missing a player in this game. They're missing their captain, etc. But you have to say fair fucks to India, because they have been gone in this series so many times, and it's 2-2, and it feels like they've just won 5-0. They haven't. It's 2-2, but it is complete testament to their grit and determination. And Mohammad Siraj has put India on his back in that morning session, and he's bowled his side to victory. So fair fucks to him.
Mate, so true. I think there's a lot of reflection ahead on the conditions that produce this kind of Indian fight. These were young lions roaring. It can't be a coincidence anymore that they tend to produce their most spirited and resilient and gritty cricket for when the superstars aren't with them, and let's face it, a lot of the guys in the team now, they will go on to be these superstars if they aren't already, okay? I just mean in terms of the brand power and the supernatural place a lot of the former guys had in their societies, I suppose. It's a real cause for like, how does this happen? What's the environment that makes this the case? Because we saw something that we don't often see, I suppose, and it's incredible. It's incredible. It was incredible to watch. I think it was a group of young Indian players with a little bit of experience around them saying, this is our generation, this is our time now, we're not going to waste any of it. And to come out the way that they did in a circumstance this morning where you could, particularly after the first 2 deliveries, went for 4, each went for 4, and they shaved, 30% off the target, or just about 25, whatever. They could have again had one foot on the plane, but that's not how they've been this entire series, and they worked it out, they figured it out, they got a little bit of luck with the conditions. That's what happens in the game of cricket, and they made the most of it. And, most of all, and Siraj says this in an impassioned interview with DK on the bell, he says, I just wrote to myself, believe. And you could see that that's exactly how they felt. And you have to... I think particularly given they're a really young side relative to what we've seen before, it's hard not to have some level of affection for them, for what they've done away from home. It's really difficult to win away from home. It's really difficult to compete away from home, and they've done it in really appealing and really compelling fashion. So it's India's day, and their brand of spirit is very infectious.
How quickly everything moved, both figuratively and literally. Like, the first ball obviously gets crunched for 4, genuine half tracker from Krishna. Next ball could have easily been bowled, chopped on, just went over sort of middle and off stump, I think, went for 4 as well. And then my favourite part of the day, Pezza, is when the Penguins have thought, I want a piece of this action as well. When the umpires start going, you know what, this looks pretty fun to me, I might get myself in the game. Now, Jamie Overton is technically out. Like, you can't say that it wasn't out, because the prediction was that it would have passed the leg stump with enough velocity that the wind would have knocked the bails off. so there was that one, and that was off Damasceno. Oh, sorry, before then, Jamie Smith was given out caught behind just to see if it carried, even though Juv Jarrell had his fingers pointing up to the sky, took it above his head. So there was that. And then there was the LBW of Josh Tongue from the other Penguin, who was given out, and it was, I think that was going to bounce, I think there was maybe 1 or 2 bounces hitting the side screen for 4. That was missing the stumps by a mile. And then there was an LBW, I think, next ball that they didn't review, but I think it pitched about 4 meters outside leg stump. But the umpires were thinking about it. And so that was kind of like, when you look back on it, or when you're watching it at the time, rather, that's just how, like, I'm getting wrapped up in it as well. You know, every ball was an event. Like, they were swinging from the hip outside off stump. There was no patience with England at all. There was no idea that they were going to get to the new ball or whatever. They were just like, every ball's got to go for 4. And just sort of created this vibe of like, fuck, like, this is going to be over in like 10 minutes. I can't stop watching. But the umpires played their part. Brilliant stuff.
It was a clown show. And that's it was a clown show. Everybody was rattled as fuck. It was awesome at the start of the day to see how many people were in the ground for 35 runs for starters. Again, worship at the altar stuff. And you're right, yeah. First ball, Overton 4. Just twat it. Just twat it, lads. We'll finish it in 2 overs. Second ball, 4. Bit of luck, way from the crowd. Smith decides he's just going to waft at everything on 18th stump. Finally nicks it. And as you said, Damascena's like, I might have a look at that because I'm rattled as fuck. As you said, like Drew Terrell's actually had it nearly parried it over the bar, taking it. Next ball, KL Rahul, you know, does it carry, does it not? I'm like, thank fuck he doesn't take that cleanly, because we'd still be looking at replays around grass and fingers on the ball. Like the Nancy pedophiles would be coming out from everywhere if that one had stuck. So I think KL Rahul, once again, grace, elegance, class, writ large. But it's all happening. Every ball's an event by this point. The ball's swinging an absolute mile. Then Shub McGill's got 3 to 4 blokes on the boundary as well as 3 slips. So I'm like, I haven't seen this before. I'm like, and at this point you're thinking like, the most appropriate way this game would end is for someone to man-cad Chris Woakes. And I'm really sad that didn't happen. Either that or him like flashing a left-handed drive through extra cover, Hussey style, to win the game. But you know, as you said, can't have everything. Mate, there was all these mini moments as well, you know, like Atkinson chops one to the fence, Jadeja swings around, dives, saves the boundary, only three runs to England, 21 to win at that point. Siraj is just doing, like, Siraj, who is the man of this moment, he's bowling the under-10s strategy of outie, innie. Let's see how we go, which is awesome. And yeah, finally, Siraj blows Overton's front pad off, and Damascena gives it, and you're laughing immediately because you're like, if this is hitting the stump, it's not just a bee's dick, it's a bee with a micro penis. At this point, you know, it's a bee on the internet going, you're clicking one weird trick. You know, like, and that's funny if it's not your team, and it's very upsetting if it's your team. So anyway, it was one of those. It kind of looked out live, but that's just Tamasha stuff. And then on the first replay, it was like, that's going down, and it kind of was. Anyway, CricViz, CricBuzz, WinViz, whatever, flips the win percentage to India in one delivery from it was like 24% to 76%. So good gear.
I thought, for so long, Indian fans have admonished and basically hated Steve Buckner, you know, for being the worst umper of all time. But Kumar Damascena, with that decision, was a touching tribute to Steve Buckner because he waited, and then he made like a motion with his mouth, being like, "Yeah, go on then." Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what this feels like. Yeah, I think he was calculating his mortgage repayments, and he's just going like, "That's out."
I can see off stump, but that's out.
Yeah, exactly. And anyway, the other Penguin decides to give Tongue LBW. It's basically pitched outside leg. So Yeah, they're getting involved, which is great. It added to the scenery of the entire thing. Like Atkinson slashes over slips. Like, well, that's 4. That's gone too fine. Gill's got Siasadasan there. You know, like behind the slips, brilliant. Siraj looking most likely as well. And you know, then other clown show stuff like Atkinson pulls one that looked like to be a shot as well. He pulls one, thinking it's gone to deep square. It's just gone straight to mid on. He's like, I'll run. No worries. And then Taraj's like, you know what? I might throw this to Vauxhall Station. See what happens. Sorry. Yeah, so like it was anyway, and then Christian Castle's tongue, gold, and you're thinking India are on their way at this point. But given there were so few runs to get, when Atkinson hits Siraj for 6, Akashdeep parries it over. Now, don't think you know, you can sledge it too much. If he actually takes the catch, he's going to dive over the line. So I don't really know. I mean, perhaps he could have been on the boundary and parried it back in. I don't know, but I think it was fair value for a 6, that shot. And you're like, oh, okay, now Atkinson is on the verge of doing something extraordinary here. You know, like shepherding his batters. He's got and he's got Woakes there as well. I mean, should we talk about Woakesy? Poor Woakesy.
Oh, mate, what about when? So they scamper through for a bye off Siraj. When Jarrell probably should have had his glove taken off, and then
he was asleep. He was asleep, Jarrell.
Yeah, and then Ravi's on commentary, you know, invoking Dhoni, as we all were at that point. And as you would
the title
as well.
Of this, the title of this episode, Mike.
Dhoni lives on. India win by 6. Yeah.
India win by 6. Dhoni, Kohli, Rohit, Sunny Gavaskar.
P.S.
Brackets to a lesser extent.
P.S. Kumble was a good player too. It's a long title. Anyway, yeah. So when Woakes is in pain running, like they ran 2 as well at one point. So Atkinson crunches the ball through wide mid on / straightish mid wicket, and Woakes he wanted no part of that too. I think he like plonked his bat down because he couldn't even slide his bat. And he looked. He then I think he might have said to Atkinson, like, mate, I don't think I can run 2. So like it looked mate, you know, like the bravery and the courage. Like, I mean, I don't know how bad the injury is or how bad a dislocated shoulder can get, because people don't know this about me, but I'm actually not a doctor.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know if you can do like severe damage if you like re-injure a dislocated shoulder, or I don't know, but I mean, just putting your body on the line like that. I mean, I just would have, you know, the macabre side of me wanted him to see how he was going to face a delivery. You know, like the evil part of my brain wanted to see how that was going to look.
100%. You sound like you're a bit reluctant to say that. I mean, we all wanted to see how it's shaped up left-handed. Yeah. Didn't we? You know, like, I mean, imagine if like, you know, it's too greedy, but like, if a bloke batting one hand left-handed hits the winning runs,
in a sling.
Like to ice the series in a sling, like, fucking take me now. I've seen it all. Like, I'll be like, all right, now I am an IPL guy. You know, there's nothing else to do now. Yeah. I mean, it's extraordinary bravery. He deserves all the plaudits for what he did. I actually, I'm sure they were across all of the permutations of him going out to bat, though it did cross my mind that much of the thought will have been around striking the ball, setting himself up left-handed, protecting that shoulder. I do wonder what thought was given to the actual act of running. I'm sure there was, but it you know, certainly didn't occur to us non-medical people watching the game that running might pose a problem for him. But like absolutely fair play to him, and he put his team in a position to potentially win the game. I mean, I thought I really thought that Atkinson had just about iced it. He was one hit away, you know, before Siraj did it. I mean, the entire chronology of today is completely in keeping with the ebbs and flows and the jeopardy and evenness of the series, you know, and like I thought England in patches today were brave too. I mean, I thought Atkinson was exceptional, and Woakes' bravery, you know, will be spoken about forever. And you know that he is a guy that he's a cricketer. Everybody in the game says what a fantastic bloke he is. And there's a part of me, as much as I wanted to see him, you know, like just Lara-esque high backlift slap one through square to win the series. Like it would have been for a guy who we may not see again at test level. Touch wood. I hope that's not the case. Wow, what I mean, imagine if he'd managed to finish his career on the winning side batting like that. It'd be the enduring image of his life, But anyway, Siraj pegs everywhere, and it's YouTube views for everyone.
To that end, we're going to take a quick break now, and we'll see you on the other side. Maybe we talk now about the series generally, Pezza. I mean, I got to say, obviously, Australian bias and Australian interest is like, what does this mean for me and the team that I like? But at different stages of this game in particular, you just have to say, no, this has actually just been a really good series. It's like, I will say at this moment, it's got nothing to do with Australia, because, I mean, even English fans are talking about it during the whole series. What does this mean, for 6 months down, or a couple of months down the track in the winter? But this has actually just been one of the best series that England have had, or Test cricket's had. There's been a lot of celebration of the 2005 Ashes, and there's been a lot of reunions, and both Australia and English cricket boards and social media accounts have been sharing like stories and memories and on this day stuff in the last few weeks, and that was just a great series. Now this is, I mean, right up there for the drama. There's obviously been niggle, there's been chaos, there's been ups and downs, there's been injuries, there's been incredible feats, there's been individual moments, there's been team efforts, there's been terrible catching, there's been amazing spells of bowling, there's been hundreds for everyone, like Oprah handing out cars. But this has been nothing but just a fucking great series, and it makes you want to wax lyrical about Test cricket and all that kind of stuff, but it's just true. It is just true. It's just, where else can you get that? Where else can you can't. You don't get construction workers stopping their shift unless it's Test cricket. That's what I'm saying. They ain't doing it for the 100, Pezza. But in all seriousness, it's just a incredible series, and great fun for everyone. And as a neutral, as an interested bystander, I suppose, fucking great fun covering as well.
Oh, hell yeah, mate. I mean, two teams with like players that have the, on their day have the capacity to light it up. And I mean, look, to me, I don't think there's going to be reflections on this series where people say it was some of the best cricket like we've ever seen. Or the necessarily the highest skill or anything like that. And I don't mean to take away from the players involved. It was an incredibly evenly matched series. Two teams who forged their path to victory in different ways, who are in different places with where they are as a team as well. So rich with narrative, rich with context and history, and I think that's the part that you can't beat when it comes to Test cricket as well. Like in India, it's the post-Kohli Rohit era, and they're stepping up to the plate and showing a level of fight that we don't typically associate with those teams in the modern era. I'm not saying there hasn't been fight before. England trying to refine its raw dog baseball approach a little bit, and doing so in conditions that it has somewhat built for its own strengths, as every other country does as well, and with another Everest on the horizon for England, and they just kept producing these wonderfully evenly matched contests. I mean, part of why I'm glad it's 2-2 is that we don't have to have a discussion about India winning more sessions than England, despite England winning 3-1. Possibly one of the hypothetically, if they'd won 3-1, like possibly one of the most noncy things I've ever heard when it comes to cricket. And believe me, cricket is a trove of noncy things. England are so good at driving their advantage home when they have small opportunities. That's just the way they play their cricket. India probably takes a more conventional, traditional route, but they have so many great technicians, so many players of grace and elegance, and then they then had this group of bowlers who overachieved for what we had expected from them, which I think is probably would be the most pleasing thing for an Indian fan. Of course, you have the runs there. You expect the runs from Indian players, particularly on these decks, and long may that continue. It's great to watch, but the way the bowlers stood up and stayed with it, in difficult conditions, is a real testament to something new in Indian cricket. And then the other part, just to worship at the altar of Test cricket a little bit, is the 5-test series, mate. That added element of attrition, where bowlers and players had to be managed, where injuries come into it. It's a sad reflection on a really compressed schedule that there aren't enough breaks in between. But by the same token, it tested the depth of both nations. It tests the tourists so much as well. Both teams are running on fumes. That creates drama. That reveals character and clarity of thought, or cloudy thoughts, when the going gets really tough. And that's why we saw so much of the cool shit that we've seen. And then, to get this test at the Oval, where the pitch was a little bit more challenging and offering opportunities for people of all persuasions, or at least bat and ball, was really good too. So it was the best test of the series for me. And 2-2 is it is a really fitting result. I think I do think 2-2 is pretty fair for what we saw as an Australian guy who was there for a bit, 40 years of age, and never played at any particularly important level.
Let's do AskTGC, Pezza, to wrap it all up. Let me tell you, the Patreon chat has been rolling in hot, and if you had made it this far, please do click subscribe. That's all we're asking for right now. Or just like the video. I suppose you can do two options there. And as I said earlier, we'll be doing the main podcast tomorrow. We'll have a few more thoughts on what this all means, especially for us. I'm not going to read out the names of who's written this in on Patreon. I'm just going to give you what's been said. My milkshake just came out of my belly stick. Can't believe Australia managed to win the Anderson Tendulkar Trophy. Yes. You're welcome. Does this mean Marnus is good? The coach of my coach is my friends. Yes, now, Mohammad Siraj has been, he's been, I wouldn't say public enemy number one necessarily, but look, there has been, a few people have been like, well, it's a bit over the top. It's a tough day. It's a tough day if you're a Siraj hater, I got to say. And look, there's lots out there. You can just go on Reddit, and you can just read. But he's bowled 30 overs and he's just bowled his team to victory. 30 overs in the fourth innings of the fifth test, day 25, 5 for 100 and something off 30 overs. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. TGC shares how by. Yep. When does the T20s versus South Africa start? Yep, that's good. England chokes harder than a citrus and belt salesman. Okay, yep.
It's fun. I mean, that's an interesting one as well, mate, isn't it? Like, it looks like a choke relative to like Brook and Root, like doing it off their dicks. I mean, watching what they were dealing with this morning, day 5, cloudy skies, and the ball moving the way that it was, it didn't look to me like a choke. Like, it didn't look to me like maybe Jamie Smith looked like he was playing without decisiveness. But apart from that, the ball was hooping miles. It looked objectively difficult to bat. So but it's funnier. It's definitely funnier. And to lose 4 wickets, needing 35 runs, I'm happy to jump on board with it for the reactions and the tea of it all.
Yeah, it's a tricky one because Harry Brook takes him right to the edge and then runs down the wicket and chips one up. I mean, Jacob Bethel runs down the wicket and chops one into his stumps.
Mate, there aren't that many teams who are making 370 in that fourth innings either. So but I think you've got to be black and white with this stuff. You've got to pick a narrative, and if the narrative is it's one of the greatest gas trucks in the history of professional sport, actually professional and amateur sport, then we'll go with it. It's not true in any way. I mean, there's blokes batting with one hand. It's swinging 3 meters. Siraj has got his tail up. It's an all Indian crowd. So, but gas truck for sure.
And one to finish it off, Pezza. Will Bumrah ever play again? It's another weird one where the stats say that India win more when he's not playing. I don't know how. I feel like if Bumrah is bowling today, England are bowled out in 4 balls, but he wasn't playing. So there you go. It's a win for Siraj. Is he the leader of the pack? Somehow he's diminished when Bumrah plays. I don't know how. I don't know what the mentality of that is, but it's just a fact, I suppose. I mean, I don't know. Anything else you want to say to sign off, Pezza?
I'm looking forward to both teams holding the trophy, raising it up, and then hopefully shaking hands.
See you tomorrow.